Well, the smoke has settled and everyone in the world now knows the name of Pope Leo XIV, the first American pope in history. Parish member of St. Margaret Mary Catholic Church in Parkersburg, Jeff DeWitt, says that he was very stunned when he heard the news of the pontiff making history. After processing the news, DeWitt says that he predicts that Pope Leo will continue Pope Francis's legacy and bringing unity to the church and the world.
I just think it's going to be a great opportunity for the church to see the American Pope. And with Pope Francis selecting him as one of his closest aides, I think they share a lot of the same philosophies in the charity and the work with the poor and the being more inclusive to everyone.
DeWitt says that he believes the American idea of Catholicism will bring more forward progression to the church and philosophies while maintaining the core principles.